Today, we're jumping into something really fascinating the everyday. Our mission really is to take these real-world English interactions, the kind you hear all the time, and sort of pull out the key bits, the language nuggets hidden inside.
That's right. Yeah, our sources for this deep dive, they're all about the lively, sometimes kind of surprising language of just daily life. We're digging into asking for directions, gossiping about movies, even complaining about the weather, which everyone does. And what's really cool is how even these simple exchanges, they're just packed with useful words and, cultural hints.
Exactly. So for you listening, our goal is to sort of unravel these dialogues that probably feel instantly familiar, and then we'll unpack 5 specific words that are really, really crucial for sounding natural, for communicating confidently. Think of it like a shortcut, maybe, to understanding how people actually talk, not just the textbook stuff. All right, let's jump in. Okay, first up, let's talk about that feeling, like a universal feeling of being completely lost somewhere new. Maybe you've gotten off the bus too early or something. And then that huge relief when you find someone who looks helpful. Like imagine you're trying to find the modern art museum in that situation. When someone's giving directions, what do you think is the trickiest part linguistically? Are there common mistakes people make?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, often it's about translating what you see in your head into clear words, spatial stuff. What's really effective in these chats is the practical language, like walk straight down this road, or you can't miss it, or, take the first right and walk about 2 blocks. Simple stuff. But the real key, often it's the landmarks, the big red cafe, a bookstore, maybe a small bakery, even something specific like a big metal sculpture in a tiny park.
Yeah.
These things, they act like anchors for the directions. Makes it much clearer.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just coordinates, isn't it? It's a mini map in words. And these little interactions, they show how quick people can build trust, rapport, just through words. You hear these nice phrases like, no problem at all, or, oh, people around here are pretty friendly. It makes you think, how often have you needed directions or been the one giving them? These small moments, they do kind of build community.
They really do.
Okay, so from navigating actual streets, let's switch to another common thing. Talking about, say, a new TV show everyone's watching. You know that buzz when everyone's hooked on something like The Mystery House,
right?
And that whole binge watching thing, oh, just one more episode, and then suddenly it's like 3 a.m. What is it about sharing that kind of experience that makes our language so, vivid?
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? Talking about movies or shows becomes this social bonding thing. It's currency. And the words people use, oh my gosh, so good, or maybe a little scary, really intense. That was a total surprise. These aren't just facts about the plot. They're sharing feelings, building this shared emotional reaction. And then you get the casual planning right. Let's have a mini binge night. Got to have snacks. It's all about creating a shared ritual almost. Deepens the connection.
That's so true. Yeah, these informal chats, they're so important for making connections stronger. You move past just knowing someone to actually sharing stuff, maybe inside jokes even. It's like a linguistic shortcut to friendship. Yeah. All right, so from addictive TV to the weather, the ultimate small talk topic, right? Especially that classic spring weather, sunny one minute and suddenly, boom, thunder and rain, and you end up completely soaked, even though you left the house wearing sunglasses. How do these everyday weather chats let us be so expressive and often pretty funny too?
I think it's because weather is something absolutely everyone experiences, but the impact feels really personal, right? So the language gets quite sensory, like wild today, or it was hot, cold, dry, wet, all in one day. Captures that feeling. And then you get the humor, the exaggeration, forecasting snow fire frogs falling from the sky or something. Or just the genuine shock of seeing an unexpected 30 degrees on the forecast. This is a safe way to share how we're feeling about our surroundings.
Yeah.
You even hear things like, I kind of miss winter already.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a social lubricant, but it lets slip some real feelings sometimes. Okay, so we've looked at these situations, and certain words just keep popping up, adding, real color or nuance. Let's pull out 5 of these. Linguistic gems, let's call them, that really help you sound natural. First one, kind of.
Oh, kind of. Seems simple. It's informal. Short for kind of means a little or not completely. But the interesting thing is how it works as sort of a hedge. A softener. It lets you express things less directly, maybe uncertainty or politeness or even disagreement without being too blunt.
That softening aspect is interesting, but does kind of sometimes signal maybe like a bit of reluctance or even passive aggression, like saying, I'm kind of tired when you're actually totally exhausted and just don't want to go out. Or this movie is kind of boring when you secretly think it's terrible.
Oh, absolutely it can. Yeah, context and tone are everything. It gives you that little bit of plausible deniability, maybe.
So, yeah, while it's often just innocent, used before adjectives like she's kind of busy or it's kind of cold, its indirectness can definitely carry different shades of meaning. You don't usually stick it right before a main verb, but it really colors the words that follow it.
Okay. Next word. Puzzled.
This is that feeling when you're confused, you don't quite get it. Like the person in the example who looked a little puzzled asking for directions. How is puzzled different from just saying confused or maybe perplexed?
Good question.
Yeah.
Puzzled isn't just general confusion. It implies you're actively trying to figure something out. Like a puzzle, right? You could almost picture the expression, the furrowed brow, like, what's going on here? There's a mental effort involved. So she looked puzzled when I told her the news. Suggests she's trying to process and make sense of it. Or he was puzzled by the question. Means he's trying to work out what it really means. It feels more active than just confused.
Right. So there's a specific thing causing the confusion and you're trying to solve it. And you often hear it with by, right? Puzzled by his answer. Or maybe puzzled about, like, I'm puzzled about what to do. It's a softer way to say you're confused, but it's quite precise too.
Exactly. Okay, third word. Soaked. Now this seems straightforward, completely wet. But it often carries this extra layer, doesn't it? It usually implies being, unpleasantly wet or unexpectedly wet, drenched by something you couldn't really avoid, like rain.
Yeah.
It's usually stronger than just being damp or even wet.
Okay, that makes sense. The unpleasant, unavoidable aspect. So, caught in that sudden spring shower, you definitely say, ugh, I got soaked, or my shoes are soaked through. But it can be playful too, like he got soaked in the water fight. Still means totally wet.
Exactly. Very, very wet. Saturated. It's a strong image.
Okay, number 4 is a phrase. Be supposed to. This one, it can sound a bit tricky maybe, but it's super common. And there's more to it than meets the eye. What's the real difference between saying, I'm supposed to do this and say, I should do this? Is there like a subtle pressure with supposed to?
Yeah, you're on to something important there. Be supposed to tells us about what should happen based on an expectation, a rule, or a plan, often an external one. So, I'm supposed to start work at 9 a.m. That's the plan, the schedule. That's the expectation. Or you're supposed to turn off your phone in the cinema. That's a rule. Should can feel a bit more like personal advice or a general good idea. Supposed to really highlights that external expectation or arrangement.
Got it. So it's really about what's expected or planned, even if it doesn't actually happen, often from outside. Like your example, he was supposed to call me, but he didn't. The expectation was there, clear as day. And him not doing it feels maybe a bit more significant than just, oh, he should have called.
Precisely. It carries that weight of a prior agreement or rule. Okay, finally, number 5, regret. Yeah. Feeling bad about something you did or maybe something you didn't do in the past. It's wishing you'd chosen differently.
Right. So common examples like, oh, I regret eating that extra piece of cake. Or maybe something more serious. He regrets not calling his friend sooner. It's tied directly to past actions or inactions.
Exactly. And the really key thing to remember, especially for speaking naturally, is the grammar. After regret, you almost always use a verb with inging. So I regret saying that, or she regrets leaving so early. You might hear regret to inform you or regret to say, but that sounds much more formal, like in writing or official news. For everyday chat, stick with regret plus the ing form.
That's a great practical tip. Wow, what a deep dive that was. We've really sort of peeled back the layers today on these everyday interactions and shown how these seemingly simple words are just packed with meaning, really shaping how we understand conversations and, well, each other.
Absolutely. And knowing this stuff isn't just academic, right? Mm-hmm. Understanding these little nuances, it actually helps. It helps you connect better with people, handle social situations more easily, maybe avoid some misunderstandings day to day.
Definitely. So as you go about your day now, maybe pay a bit more attention to your own conversations. What are those little hidden meanings or unexpected moments you notice? Things that make you pause, maybe feel a little puzzled yourself, or even moments where you think, oh, I might regret saying that later. Paying attention to those small exchanges, that's really where the deep dive into communication truly begins.